After what seems like an eternity, we're finally back at Old Trafford, and today it's a Barclays Premier League clash between Manchester United and West Ham United. Manchester United in a bit of a slump of form right now after a unlikely draw against Leicester would have seen. Despite their triumphs in the Champions League, they're slipping in the Premier League a little bit. Just the one change from the team that played last time out against Leicester City. David De Gea is in goal with Darmian, Smalling, Rojo and Luke Shaw. Phil Jones has sustained an injury recently, so he's another change actually. Marc Rojo comes in. It's Schweinsteiger, Herrera and Henwood in the midfield, with Depay, Young and Martial up front. For West Ham, Adrian is in goal with Jenkinson, Ogumilano, Tompkins, Cresswell, Noble, Coyote, Antonio, Moses and Lanzini in the midfield. And the man up front, I believe, was Enin Valencia. Well, that doesn't tell the entire story. The best defensive team in the league, but as we said, David De Gea is the only main reason for that. Although, let's be fair, Chris Smalling has been a rock at the bat for United this season. Today he's partnered up with Marcus Rojo. As we said, Phil Jones is a danger injury. I believe it's going to be out for 3 months. In one case anyway, so very unfortunate that United have lost one of their established centre-backs, as it were. But, Marcus Rojo is great in his own right, and no doubt he will want to make good on the opportunity he has received from today and for the foreseeable future. United already picking the ball around. It's a wet Manchester this afternoon. Many games in Scotland postponed today. In the north, obviously. Young, that's great control. Wide open for Herrera. Great goal. And already Manchester United take the lead. A fantastic wicked cross from Ashley Young. And Herrera was wide open. It was awful defending from West Ham's point of view, to be completely honest. No one's closing Herrera down here, but what a shot. Adrian has no chance with that one. And I think it probably went through the legs of the defender, and that's what caught the goalkeeper off. He's been completely nutmegged. Adrian's unfortunate, he's probably seen it laid. And Ander Herrera becoming such a fan favourite over the last couple of seasons. And that is his 5th goal in the league this season. I think he might be Manchester United's top scorer, believe it or not. So Ander Herrera taking the headlines once again, and the fans are ecstatic. 1-0 to United within 5 minutes. United didn't play particularly great against Leicester City, but here, back at home, Manchester United have the lead. Great challenge from Young, but the touch was kind of poor there. Here come West Ham looking for an instant response. The main man is Enin Valencia up front for West Ham, and Mark Noble has put that wide, and West Ham United up for an instant response, and that's a whack and half by Mark Noble. And it's very unfortunate that he put the shot wide. David De Gea was probably nowhere near that. Christian Schweinsteiger becoming a regular in this Manchester United midfield. Very much surprising considering what he was bought for, and the reasons for it was the Champions League experience, having won it, of course. Antonio, good crossover move there, but the cross itself not all great. As we have a look at the Striker's Ferguson stand, still shining bright even in these rainy conditions today. It's what people call typical Manchester United weather, or Manchester weather in any case. It's a great header. It was Martial up front there. No Wayne Rooney again today. Rooney sustaining a rib injury recently, so he's out of the team as well. A lot of criticism saying Manchester United probably play better without him in the team. On current status, you'd probably say that was the case, but there's still a long way to go. Schweinsteiger to Herrera. Guillote. Bit of ping pong passing here from West Ham. There's Antonio here. And no one there to beat the cross. Goal kick. Well, 5th goal for Ander Herrera. 15 appearances already. And he is staking his claim as a regular in this Manchester United Manchester United side. And truly a fan favourite. Ander Herrera, it's always a wonder why he doesn't start more often. Guillote. Jenkinson, former Arsenal player. I think he was bought, I believe. West Ham actually purchased him for a 3-year contract, I believe it was. Unless he's still on loan, I don't know the real reason for that. David De Gea covers that one up. Schweinsteiger, not the best of passes. No, the weather could put paid to more accurate passing today. And we're doing some defensive work as usual. Another skied shot, that time from Victor Moses, of Wigan Athletic. Doesn't look so bad from that camera angle, however. Marcos Rojo flew in at him. Lucky to miss him entirely there. First well to Tompkins. Interception by Smalling, but then loses the ball himself. It's a good looking ball. This has got plenty of space. Gonna go for the cross. And Antonio came in at the back post and tried the acrobatic finish. Didn't really come off for him. And what an experience at the Vitaly Stadium it will be next time out for Bournemouth, as they will take on this Manchester United side for the very first time. What an occasion that is going to be. The very first ever league encounter between Bournemouth and Manchester United. That is going to be some fixture. Bournemouth are really the fan favourites when it comes to the Premier League, and having a fantastic season by their standards. Everyone expected them to go straight back down, but they are really proving their worth here in this league, and it's fantastic to see. Oh, and here's Aaron Henwood, and oh my goodness me, the West Ham defending is atrocious, and Aaron Henwood takes full advantage. That was absolutely unbelievably bad defending, and he loves it, doesn't he? Aaron Henwood is carefree as ever, but look at this space. What are West Ham doing? Absolutely atrocious defending. And Aaron Henwood even adding a bit of smile to that finish with his right foot. Unbelievably atrocious defending by West Ham United. And Aaron Henwood running salt in the wound there. And he has every right to. His 3rd goal of the season. His 4th overall. If you add that absolute rocket that he scored in the Champions League against PSV on the opening day. Absolutely unbelievable finish. And contender for goal of the season, no doubt, from the most unlikely of players from that sort of range. And Henwood has rarely ever scored anything like that in his career. But he never seems to lose anything. He never seems to lose a step. Even if seasons transcend, as in football seasons, of course. That's a good pass. Here's Moses. Good save. De Gea onto the post. It's a corner. It's a good pass, and Moses, and that's a great save by David De Gea again. And he just cannot be beaten, David De Gea. He's probably exceeded an average of 1 goal a game. David De Gea is absolutely on it at the best of times. This time corner, De Gea comes out. It was his error that led Leicester to take the lead last time out for United. It's a great looking pass, but offside is going to be given against Martial. Really has burst onto the scene, the lad. He's a long way offside though, sadly. Maybe a free kick to West Ham here. They're certainly threatening, but they're 2-0 down within the first half hour here. And that man has scored again, Aaron Henwood. Never seems to slow down. Here's Young. Oh, Young, a delightful chip, just too far ahead of Martial. Manchester United playing beautiful football in the first 30 minutes. And, no one's going to go to that ball except for Darmian. And we're even passing the ball. Martial gives his defender the eyes. Martial is looking for Herrera. Unfortunately, he couldn't get there. I wish it's Schweinsteiger in there, actually. He's got a couple of goals himself recently, Bastian Schweinsteiger. He actually grabbed the equaliser for United against Leicester last time out. Free hit, kick for Valencia, it's a goal. And West Ham aren't completely out of this yet. I think that was an absolutely belting finish. It happened so fast I didn't notice. That's what replays are for, and David De Gea is beaten by absolutely majestic finish, it looked like. Free cross from Moses. Oh my word, what a header. Valencia, I think David De Gea thought he was going to go for something else. That's a fantastic header for Valencia. Give the lad credit. And his namesake, Antonio Valencia, is sitting on the Manchester United bench today. But Enna is the one stealing the headlines with that fantastic goal. And West Ham are back in it. 2-1 to United now. Manchester United can take comfort in the fact that every time De Gea has been beaten, it has been from a moment of brilliance. And everything else is saved. Although the Leicester area was really uncharacteristic of him. Oh, Ashley Young going for a bit of Cristiano Ronaldo with those step overs. Unfortunately, it didn't really work out for him. Worth a try though. Moses. Tonkins. Back to Adrian, his goalkeeper, who looked a little nervous there. No ball. Jenkinson. Coyote. No ball. Rushed by Schweinsteiger. Foul given against the United man. West Ham United. Next fixture will be at their new home, the Berlin Ground from last season, against Stoke City. Well, that's a fantastic header from Aaron Henwood, but I think he hurt his head in all that. He's still moving though. Jenkinson. Good movement here. And now he puts a cross in. David De Gea gathering that one. Young losing out despite a rather stylish first touch that almost didn't come off for him. It's in the sky over the bar. And out of play. Well, and in Valencia, that was some goal. Difficult position. He probably made it a lot more harder than it probably needed to be. David De Gea did the right thing. Just the power on the header was really good. And in Valencia making it a lot more difficult, going for a more stylish finish. And thankfully for him, I guess, it paid off. For West Ham, even more thankful, it puts them back in the game. Although they are still a goal down here. You just cannot leave Aaron Hill with an opportunity like that. He's no slouch. Some people really underestimate him, and West Ham certainly did that. I really didn't think he was going to run at them like that. It has already proven that he will chase after a ball in a football match. And West Ham are going to need to be more mindful of that. Here's Young. And that's a great challenge by Victor Moses as we approach the end of the first half. Manchester United relatively comfortable. They have conceded, but they've been relatively comfortable for the rest of the game. 3 minutes. And here comes Ashley Young. Still a scary sight to see a player running at you. Ashley Young's one of them. And good save from Madrid. Ashley Young still got that pace, even as he's approaching his 30s. Hard to believe that. He really has been in favour with Louis van Gaal since last season. One of the standout performers, unbelievably enough. And Manchester United has been showered with criticism for diving and simulation. On his day, Ashley Young is still a really underrated player in many ways. Oh, fantastic from Darmian. I don't think he intended it too much. It's a great looking cross. Martial off the bar, but he's offside anyway. Fantastic cross from Matteo Darmian of all people. And he for one has really impressed me this season. Well, Martial's unfortunate. He does try to get back on side here. It's good play from the West Ham defender to kind of knock him off his stride a little bit, fairly to the ref. And then Martial was caught offside. Fantastic header off the bar. He wouldn't have counted anyway. Manchester United relatively comfortable at the end of the first half. And then Valencia did make the goal more difficult than it had to be. But in either way he scored. But their atrocious defending had led to a second goal after Ander Herrera opened the scoring. Aaron Hill was able to scroll into the box due to terrible West Ham defending and make it 2-0. Valencia's brought them back in it. Still some way to go though. Manchester United 2, West Ham 1. Looking back on form here. Imagine the second half. Still a wet and windy Old Trafford here. Manchester United up by 2-1. They dominated the first half hour. And then also scoring 2 goals in that process. With Ander Herrera and Aaron Henwood, 2 of the highly rated fan favourites, unbelievably. But West Ham have got back in it since. Great header from Enin Valencia, which was, to be fair to him, a lot more difficult than it probably had to be. But either way, he scored. And now Aaron Henwood is on the ball again and running into the box. Aaron Henwood goes down, no penalty given. I think Henwood did lose his balance there. He didn't really appeal for it, so I'm guessing that's the case. Aaron Henwood does have a tendency to fall on his own. He's not a diver, Aaron Henwood, never has been. But the referee, I think that was fair enough. And we did try to control it and then lost his footing. Henwood can do that. But he never does it intentionally, and the referee's giving the benefit of the doubt to both sides, really. Not booking Henwood for simulation and not giving Manchester United the penalty either. It's a good decision from the referee. And we're just bundling into the box like no one's there. Here he is again. Making his socks off as usual. And now he's pestering Antonio and Catena as well. They keep it amongst themselves. It's a great interception by Luke Shaw. Herrera gets pushed. Keeps the ball, mind. And now Martial. Oh, a slip by the West Ham defender. Martial, it's a good save by the keeper. Bastian Schweinsteiger from the acute angle, and a good save by Adrian again. And that all started from Martial sidestepping his defender. And Adrian with a couple of really good saves under Herrera, definitely approving of that. It's going to be Memphis with the United corner. Memphis whips it in nicely. Back header. They're a bit far out from Herrera, but it's a corner. And then it came off Quixote. Ashley Young down the other corner flag to take this one. Great header again from, I think it was Rojo. Henwood was in there. And I think Henwood took a wag. And I think he fell a little bit awkwardly. Is Henwood okay? And no, he's not. Henwood is feeling uncomfortable. He's going off the pitch, and the Manchester United fans, you can hear the gasp around the stadium. Play goes on with Antonio for West Ham, and he intercepted by Chris Smalling. And if I know Aaron Henwood, he'll want to get back on the pitch if he can. Valencia into Smalling, and there's a real commotion in the box. I think Henwood and Rojo kind of got in each other's way unintentionally. Bastian Schweinsteiger, he's going through them all. He's going to pass to Martial. And the fans are keeping an eye on that sideline, looking at the number 32 now. He was 23 last season, but Luke Shaw commandeered it, said it was his lucky number. Henwood obligingly gave it over and went back to his original number. Manchester United fans not even focused on the game right now. As the fan favourite is on the sidelines, a little bit hurt. Louis van Gaal is going to keep an eye on him. If I know Aaron Henwood, if he's feeling up to it, he'll stay on the pitch if he has to. Double substitution for West Ham. Andy Carroll is one of the players coming on here, and in Valencia the goal scorer is going off. So a bit more extra firepower, but poor Andy Carroll has had the worst luck. Payet also comes on for West Ham. Here's Herrera. Valencia and Lanzini, the players going off for West Ham, by the way. And here's Carroll. First action is to pass to Antonio down the flanks here. Now with the hair gathers it. Well, Aaron Henwood is supposedly back on the pitch now. There he is. So let's see how he handles it. Picked up by Darmian, has to clear. Hastily does. Young with the chest down. Ends up with Cresswell, I think it was. Bastian Schweinsteiger, no foul given against him. West Ham player doesn't really complain. And I think it was Henwood's arm that he was clutching there. But it's not going to matter. Aaron Henwood's going to go into the box anyway. He falls again. And I think that might be a sign that Louis van Gaal probably might want to take him off. Henwood is an invaluable member of this team. Maybe not in terms of goal scoring or skills, but just in terms of his energy and determination. Memphis with the cross again. Just trying to get a reset with Shaw. Martial gets kind of pushed. Henwood's in the box. Make a pass again. But I don't think Louis van Gaal will keep him on for much longer. He knows how valuable Henwood is to the team, and he knows how much he'll push himself. Sometimes he's been criticised for pushing too hard. And that's a foul. And Martial clears it, but Herrera's back up anyway. He thought Herrera took a harder knot than he did. And look at the crunching tackle. I'm surprised he wasn't booked. Actually, the player going down was Luke Shaw. Jenkinson. Martial, bad pass. And not great defending from West Ham either, but Tompkins actually does a better job than they did last time when Henwood ran into the box. It was a bad pass, so Tompkins has to run with it. Bena. Jenkinson to Bayat, the substitution. Pass, and Luke Shaw with the header. It's gone back. Henwood's going to engage battle with Mark Noble. And he's certainly not feeling the effects of the injury, whatever it might be. Might be just a bruise. And he did suffer some bruising on one of his shoulders last year. He actually suffered a dislocated shoulder and was out for 2 months. Oh, and Noble. Came off Schweinsteiger, or is he just... No, it's a goal kick. And here we'll take it. Here's Noble. Tompkins to Kiyuchi. Carroll, good pass, and Payet's over the bar. It is going to be difficult in these conditions to keep the ball down. Here with the goal kick. Nakabona almost lost it to Schweinsteiger. Henwood gets the ball. And Henwood keeps it as well. Now he's running again. And passes to Memphis. Not often you see him pass the ball if he can run at somebody. Memphis, good save. Madrid. And he's still feeling the effects of that injury, but he's ignoring it. And if I know Aaron Henwood, that's typical of him. Guilty to Noble. His heart and soul's in this team, Aaron Henwood's. He'd play with a broken leg if he could. And he has to clear it, and he does. And Henwood even going back and helping on defense. Carroll. And his pass was wayward. Of Smalling. And the player's gone down. No foul given. Noble. This time starting to kick up again now. Carroll. Able to play it and back to Carroll, and he's scuffed it. Conditions playing their part there. Oh, Memphis, what is he doing? He's losing the ball to Antonio. That's cheaply lost. Antonio can't keep the ball down either. We're going to have a couple of substitutions here. It looks like West Ham's going to make their final one. And Morgan Schneiderlin for Manchester United is also warming up, and you can think this is a precaution. Alex Song, meanwhile, is going to come on for Mark Noble for West Ham. Former Arsenal man on loan from Barcelona. Alex Song. On the Manchester United side, you can totally understand this. Aaron Hillman's going to go off. His arm has been troubling him. And he's going to go off for Morgan Schneiderlin to the warmest applause, like Aaron Henwood always gets. You can understand Louis van Gaal. Henwood does get into tussles, and that arm is troubling him, and you can tell. Morgan Schneiderlin replaces it. Doesn't want to risk making that injury any worse when Aaron Henwood throws himself at something. Mainly the ball. Oh, Memphis, beautiful touch. And now he's got most of the pitch to aim at here. Memphis is going to go alone. He forces a save from Adrian, he goes down. And foul given. Corner. Memphis actually probably fell on his own momentum. That's a good save by the goalkeeper. Adrian's made some good saves. Memphis. Oh, freed. Marcus Rojo didn't go up for the header, but he touched it with his knee and then lost complete sight of where the ball was going. 7 minutes to go. Manchester United have lost slightly in a slight gear, but they've still got the lead. And with the cross back in, and Tompkins will gather it. Here's Jenkinson. Payet. Marcus Rojo clashing with somebody. He's headed forward. And Darmian has been a star in Manchester United this season. Clears that. Alex Song, he's still got it in the Premier League now. It's a good tackle on Herrera. And all the way to David De Gea. Here's Schneiderlin. Schneiderlin was a surprise. Most of all to me. I think Manchester United would get him. But despite all Southampton's losses in the most recent windows, they're doing rather well. Fabinho is offside here. Rojo with the free kick. Going to be all the way to Adrian. Well, considering that it's forwards that generally score, it's been midfielders in this entire game. Offside given against Carroll here. Quite a bit a long way. And Rojo keeping it amongst themselves. Sure. Herrera. Plenty of space. Good save. Martial in the box has gone down. And Shaw trying to get it back in, but hit the wrong part of his head. 3 minutes to be added on at the end of this game. In a game where Manchester United do look like they're going to take all 3 points. West Ham have threatened a little bit more in the second half, but Manchester United, despite the injury to Aaron Henwood, clutching his arm, he's gone off, but looks like United are going to take the 3 points here. Chris Smalling, especially, being that brick wall that he is. Oh, and it was too weak, and David De Gea was able to read it. Herrera on Coyote, good tackle. West Ham might get something here. David De Gea makes sure That doesn't happen and kicks it out this time. Again, West Ham get it. Moses. West Ham's trying to kick up a gear, but is there not enough time? And no, there is not. That is the end of the game. Manchester United back on form, getting 3 points. All the goals coming in the first half. Herrera and Henwood putting United into a 2-0 lead. And then Valencia with a very difficult header, more difficult than it had to be, beating De Gea. No goals in the second half. Aaron Henwood sustains a knock to his arm. Hopefully Manchester United's sake that won't be too long. Not the best of second halves. All the goals coming in the first. Manchester United looking back on form here after a couple of draws against Watford and Leicester, teams that you would have expected United to beat. But they take the 3 points today and back on song it seems. Manchester United 2, West Ham United 1. The other match coinciding with today's clash at Old Trafford, Newcastle and Liverpool finished with a goal apiece, meaning the table looks like this. Manchester City still ahead by 3 points from Chelsea. Manchester United still in third. Arsenal climb up to fourth, unbelievably. They were down in 7th or 8th a game or two ago, but they've gone back into that familiar full spot. Sunderland 5th, Spurs 6th, Liverpool 7th, Stoke City 8th, Aston Villa climbing up to 9th under their new manager. Everton complete the top 10, and Bournemouth in 14th, so they're still having a pretty stellar season. Leicester City out of the relegation zone with Crystal Palace is now down there. Swansea City with Watford and Norwich only on 9 points after 15 games. It's looking pretty troublesome for them down there.